A big thing that you helped me with, and this was 3 years ago when I dealt with my methylation imbalance, was I have the comp T break. I was supplementing with the vitamin that had folic acid and cyanocobalamin, both synthetic vitamins I cannot process. And my estrogen levels, and when I look back at the lab values, I'm like shocked by it, but it was 700% estrogen dominant. I was a crazy person. And I remember I had that little gut, which
I actually vividly remember this.
I know you do. It was a beautiful moment in our relationship. But you truly helped me get through that and it was just a short course of a little progesterone and
DIM, I think.
DIM.
Diindolylmethane, yeah.
And it got me
comes
through
from
it.
cruciferous vegetables, by the
Yeah,
way. Just in case
supernatural.
you're
Right,
So
wondering if
remember
that's
that. Remember, you can
that's
also eat to
pharmaceutical.
this too, your
Yeah.
vegetables. You know, and we kind of laugh about that time that you were going through, but unfortunately,
You two laugh about
Yeah.
that. Okay. Let's just
but
clarify.
unfortunately, there's
It happens to so many people.
So every day, all day long, it's just, we can fix this.
Yes, which is why I like to talk about it and lay my crazy out for everybody, because I know that if I share that story, somebody else is going to raise their hand and go, well, that's happening to me too.
right.
I'm not crazy.
Right.
Let me get my labs checked. Let me talk to my doctor about it. So,
And I think it's also important to know that if you don't fix this, you guys, it's dangerous. It is dangerous. It's dangerous for dementia, your relationships, your inflammation, and we all know what inflammation. You could get cancer. I mean, it's just
and your mental well-being.
It absolutely, and of course, your sexual wellness is important. It's so directly related to your hormones. So it's been a big focus of mine to balance hormones. I use bioidentical hormones. So in other words, I use it, and we're pretty strict about that because we want hormones that your body can recognize. It's hard on the body when it doesn't really know what to do with a substance, or it's like mimicking something. You already have to detox and process so much. So we do like to do bioidentical hormones, and there is bioidentical estrogen, and there is bioidentical progesterone, and so that would be my recommendation.
And bioidentical testosterone.
Correct.
And I've also noticed that sometimes you'll use as a part of this balancing process, getting progesterone and estrogen into balance, using things like DIM from cruciferous vegetables and progesterone at night, but also looking at their testosterone levels, because remember you telling me that when women get very deficient in testosterone, we've seen this on hundreds and hundreds of labs, their red blood cell production tends to decline, their hemoglobin levels tend to decline, not to the point where they're anemic, but to the point where they're tired and they have brain fog and they're not sleeping deeply. And I've watched what you've been able to do with minimal amounts of intervention, just balancing testosterone alone, moving that back into the optimal range for a woman, which I think a lot of women resident about, thinking about taking testosterone. I don't want to get male characteristics and big muscles and facial hair and aggression, but putting their own testosterone back into
Absolutely.
normal range.
And the biggest thing with that, my push for that, and my demand for testosterone being a part of it is your brain. Cognition is so important to protect it with, and testosterone is how you're going to do that. So I definitely consider all three hormones, and I think that doesn't happen often in the traditional model that I was trained in. It was the lowest amount of hormones for the shortest amount of time, and all the studies, the big studies, Women's Health Initiative back in the mid-2000s, all those studies were based again on synthetic hormones. Studies have long since shown that if we stick with these bioidenticals, since about 2017, it's generally been more accepted that hormones are good, and there's not an age limit, and it doesn't matter if you're 65 or if you're 70, or if you don't have hormones, let's give you hormones.
Right.
Let's give you testosterone. Let's give you estrogen. Let's give you progesterone.
Makes you feel
and
better.
We're not going to do it at pharmacologic levels. We want to do it at physiologic levels.
Yes.
Right. That's what we're so big about, is restoring physiology.
Yeah.
In our lab work, we trend, right? We follow trends. We don't want to wait till you're there.
Right.
So that's all I'm asking, is that women don't wait till you get all those symptoms. The second you get them, you might be 35. You might be 30. If putting on weight, you're tired, you're not sleeping, you have mood swings, loss of sex drive, go get your hormones fixed.